for a division that's called Women at NBC Universal. So what integrated sales marketing, Bennett. 2 N's, 2 T's. So what integrated sales marketing is, when you all are watching your shows, you'll notice that sometimes you'll see, you know, a certain product within a show. You'll notice that you'll see a sweepstakes that's brought to you by a certain product. Or you'll see, you know, if any of you all, you know, sometimes watch Bravo, you know, sometimes in the middle of the commercial break, you'll see, you know, just some extra content from a show, but you'll see it was brought to you by something, or it's themed something, or you'll have a marathon that's themed for a certain brand. That's what integrated sales marketing does. We work alongside with what's called our advertising sales group. That's who actually sells the commercials that you see, just the straight commercials. But those advertisers, which are also called our clients, they also, for all the, you know, millions of dollars they spend to have their commercials, they also spend another set of money to have what they call added value, and that's where integrated sales marketing comes in. So they'll come to us and say, right now, after I leave you guys, I have a presentation with Olive Garden. So Olive Garden they've sent us what is called a request for a proposal. Their brand objectives are all about family, you know, because their tagline is, when you're here, you're family. So what I have to do is, from each property, which is all of our channels, as well as some of our digital properties, which is like iVillage and NBC.com, come up with one big, huge theme. And my theme is family is. And for each property, I have them answering that question, family is what? So for Oxygen, you know, we have a new show that's coming out called Jersey Couture. It's this Jersey family that runs like a dress shop in Jersey. So what I'm saying is, family is working together to make New Jersey fabulous, one dress at a time. And that's kind of what Jersey Couture is. And on Oxygen, the way that this program will play out, well, I'll have like 30 seconds of a bunch of clips of that show, package it up, that'll run in the commercial break, but you'll see hopefully some sort of a graphic treatment that says, you know, family is, and it'll be all about Jersey Couture, blah, 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 and at the very tail end, you'll see, it'll say something like, you know,
this commercial's paid for.
Maybe not that hard, but something like, you know, this was brought to you by Olive Garden, because when you're here, your family. We'll tie it in some way. So that's what I have to do. And because I am specifically women at NBC Universal, I focus on the female targeted properties within NBC Universal. So it's Bravo, Oxygen, The Today Show, iVillage. Sometimes that includes almost all of the properties. So that sometimes is USA, sometimes it's Sci-Fi. It just depends on what the specific client is at that time and what they're looking for. How I kind of started my, excuse me, I have an undergraduate degree in music business administration from Indiana State University. From there, I was able to obtain an internship at VH1 Save the Music. I was there for about 6 months, and then I was hired as an assistant within Noggin and The End, which is now Teen Nick. I worked there for about 4 years. Then I moved over, and this was all within MTV Networks. I moved to Comedy Central within their marketing and advertising departments. And I most recently came from MTV, kind of the mothership. So I worked, and I was in this same kind of role of integrated marketing. And I worked much closer with MTV2, but I also touched on a lot of MTV and MTVU business as well. And so I've been in this role since late October, so I just came over here, and within that time, I actually obtained my MBA in media and marketing from Fordham. So that is my, you know, kind of story in a nutshell.
Denise, we was also in their particular class, we were talking about the importance of personal branding, and what does it mean for these students now who are getting ready to go to college. What advice can you give them to help them increase their skill sets in terms of, let's say, if they want to work for someone like you, what type of skills would they need to do that?
When I'm always looking for, you know, when I'm, you know, trying to source out interns, the interns that work the best for me are the extra go-getters, the ones that are just, you know, able to be very flexible and nimble, to just know how to anticipate needs and, you know, get it done. The nature of what I do and in my specific role is it's very fast paced. So I tend to gravitate towards candidates who are just very, you know, just up for anything, just whatever you need, I'm down, and they just know how to really get their hands dirty. And that's slightly a personality thing. As far as relating that to a personal brand, I think a lot of times you have to deal with, anybody will come in with a set of perceptions about you. And what I've kind of learned in my career is learning what my what I call a hallway reputation is. And sometimes there's nothing you can do about that. But you can try the best you can. You know, obviously all of us look a very certain way. So we're already going to have a perception about us. That's hard to overcome. It's still hard for me to overcome now. But I try as best as I can to kind of pay attention to the things that I say and what kind of perception that's giving to people. And again, sometimes no matter what, it just is what it is. You know, I think I've tried, and you know, I've been in this industry for almost 10 years, and
wow.
You know, I'd love to think that I am the sweetest girl possible at work, but you know, when you listen to people and how they talk about you or how they, you know, to your face, you know, I always hear people say, well, you know, Denise don't take nothing. I'm like, she don't take no mess. I'm like,
what are y'all talking about?
Yeah, like, who did I cuss out yesterday? Like, what are y'all talking about? But sometimes that's just a perception that sometimes you're not gonna be able to get away with. It happens. We all have a certain inflection in our voices. We all, you know, walk and talk and move sometimes kind of a certain way. You do the best you can to try to combat that perception, but at the same time, sometimes you try to work with it. You know, I just had a banquet with Fordham's Black and Hispanic MBA Association, where we had Carla Harris, who is the managing director from Morgan Stanley, and she talked about that as well. She was trying to push it down, right, of, you know, all this, and her perception was that she was weak. She was like, okay, well, dang. So she had to redo it and, you know, come across as being, you know, really, she was coming across as being really tough. So it's a tricky little balance that you have to do, but you still have to try to make some sort of a brand of, you know, who you are. I kind of branded myself a long time ago as Supergirl. That's what it was, my nickname when I was younger, and I've just kind of kept it on through my career. And, you know, the perception that I like to, the cartoon character is called Supergirl. That's what my tattoo is.
Nice.
You know, check DC Comics, that's what she's called. But, you know, so that, what I'd like to bring into every role is, you know, I can do it. Whatever you want me to do, no challenge is too small, I can do it. Because that's who I am, I'm Supergirl, and maybe anybody else can't do it, but I can. So I've kind of tried to come in with that kind of attitude of, you know, just can do and positive, and, you know, no challenge is too great. So that's kind of how I kind of branded myself.
Okay, that's good.
Does that ever cause you to, like, you know, become overwhelmed and, like, get stressed out and stuff like that? And how do you deal with that?
You just work through it. There's challenges and overwhelm. That's just gonna happen. And another thing that I've learned, just, you know, from coming to this city, working in this business, if you can make it, oh well, then you're good. I mean, it just is what it is. I get overwhelmed all the time. I got, you know, late nights. You know, I'm sick. I would have loved to stay home today. I do not feel good, but I got a presentation today at 4 o'clock with a client, and I'm going to need to be up and ready to go, and I don't feel well. Right. But it is what it is.
Right.
Earlier you mentioned something about NBC when you were explaining about what you guys do with the advertisements. You were mentioning that most of the women that you guys start affiliating with most of the women organizations. Now, do you feel? Well, no, but you said something about like joining in with channels like that have women shows.
Oxygen.
Yeah, like
Oxygen.
Oxygen.
We own those channels.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, do you feel that there's a few women in the NBC like working with you? You feel that you are one of those few women?
No. Do you mean as in women working within NBC Universal?
You feel that makes you that gives you like a little bit of pride?
Pride. I mean,
No, that makes you like work better. That you're proud that you're one of the few women working.
I'm not one of the few women here.
No, but I'm.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I know, but does that empower you though?
No,
No?
I'm not a minority.
Okay.
There's tons of women here.
Alright.
Tons of powerful women here. So I'm amongst.
I'm not discriminating or anything. I'm just asking.
But no, to your question, do I feel rah-rah? Not really, because I work among a lot of really strong women. So the empowerment comes from, okay, y'all doing big things. I'm right here with you.
I'm just gonna stay.
I'm not breaking I'm not breaking any barriers here.
Right. Okay.
How was it for you, like, after you left college, like, finished and you was trying to get a job? Like, how was it, like, trying to find a job, actually?
For me, it was easy because I was interning. I went straight from college into my internship. And there was about that much time between my internship and my job, and it was at the same company.
So I'm asking because, like, when I'm interested in, like, journalism and stuff, I was interested in, like, that was because I'm from Jamaica, and when I was there, I wanted to do that, but coming into the big city and, it's more competitive, it's more competitive and stuff, so I was wondering if it's going to be easy for me. Like,
It's only competitive if you think it is. I went to school in Indiana, and my internship was here. So it's only competitive if you think it is. Somebody got to get those internships. Somebody has to get those jobs, and it should be you. Now, I know that is a very simplistic way of thinking of it, but, most of the time when I'm having these conversations, I'm talking to people who are out of school, out of college, or, already working, so they got a little uphill battle. Y'all haven't gotten there yet. So if that's what you want, make the decision now that that's what you're going to get. Again, I know that sounds simple, but somebody got to get it. Why can't it be you?
Is it very competitive?
Yes, absolutely. These are the biggest companies in the world. We run media. We run the, how do you think everybody knows what's going on in the world? The media tells them. So, yes, it's hyper competitive to, get an internship and a job at MTV Networks. Do you know how many people want to get there? You know how competitive it is to get to NBC Universal? It's impossible. For other people, not me, and not you.
I understand that you guys are a very large conglomerate. So, would you say that it's easier to get into the smaller parts of your companies than, is it hard to get into all of them?
It's hard to get into all of them. But I think when people ask me things like that, is it hard? The answer will always be yes, if you make it hard.
Right.
So there is no easy way to get in here.
Right.
The best way, not easiest way, for people, especially at your stage in life, is an internship. Is that still really hard to get? Yeah. But somebody got to get it. There's students that look just like you in the same position that you are that end up getting them. So someone will get them. It's, it's almost similar to the lottery, Somebody gonna win. So yeah, it's difficult, but you have an advantage. You have an advantage more than I did because you live here.
That's true.
I'm not from here.
From Indiana?
Hell no. But that's where I was. I grew up in the DC area, but I still wasn't here. I was in Indiana. So the way that I was able to even get that internship was my professor used to send us to a conference in LA every year for the sole purpose of, meeting with these professionals and, securing your internship. Because I couldn't graduate if I didn't get an internship. And so each year I would meet with one of the representatives over at VH1 Save the Music. And we would talk every year like, I'm going to be coming back because I need an internship. And we would just talk about it every year. And by that senior year, he was like, all right, let's do it. Came up here and had my formal interview, at MTV Networks. And, just that kind of tenacity about it, we made it happen. But yeah, was that easy? No. I have a job. My mama had to pay for that, to be coming to New York and, doing that interview and had to find some place to stay. Like, it was just a lot going on. Plus, I was a college student. I didn't, when you're a college student, you're technically homeless. Like, you have nowhere to live.
Right.
You live in the dorm that you don't own.
Right.
So, it was just a lot going on. But whatever, I got it. I have a girlfriend who was in that same undergraduate program with me. She chose to go to spring break when I came out here for that interview. She ain't got no job. And I've been out of college for a long time. So but you have that advantage that you're already here. You're already here. You already have access to, professionals that work in this space. You sit next to them on the train every day. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to a lot of people, and sometimes people get bogged down into how would I ever meet someone who works for NBC Universal? I'm like, you live here. Like,
it's all about networking.
All about networking. You have a way more advantage than everybody else.
Because you'll see somebody in the train, you start talking to them, don't even know, like, you start talking to them until they say, I work at, where that place, and stuff like that. And that's how you get to, like, meet people. And they say, you want a job, whatever, I'll hook you up. So it's all about that.
It doesn't always happen that easily, but but I like where she's going with that.
Right.
Obviously you all are, still in high school and will be making college choices soon. But, even when I made my decision of what college I wanted to go to, because Indiana, that is a strange choice. But I did it because of that specific major of music business, because I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work in music business, which is why I ended up going to MTV. My professor at the time, the head of my department, he boasted 100% job placement. And, and that's just me. I went to college to get a job, to start my career. And I wanted a very specific college experience. Because, I got into NYU. I didn't want to go. I was like, I know that I'm moving to New York. I don't need to go to NYU. So that was just me. And I was like, I wanted a yard. I don't want to go to, I'm not a city kid. I'm a suburban kid. Like, I don't need all that at 17. Because I'm moving here at 21, so I'll be good. So that's just me. So I would encourage you, when you're starting to think of your college choice, to start thinking of what you want the end result to be. Some people they make their college decisions for a host of other different reasons. Mine was very specific. I want to work at MTV. And I chose a college that my professor said, I will get you there. And that's what we did. With no bumps in that road at all. It was a straight shot. And again, that's just me. I was a strange senior in high school.
Any other questions?
If you were interviewing a possible intern, what are some things that would appeal to you, and what are some things that might possibly turn you off?
The things that appeal to me are if you are a true pop culture kind of junkie. And I take a lot of my experience from MTV just because I spent the most time there. What would turn me off is when I absolutely know that you're not a big TV watcher, you're not really into what's going on in the world. Like, that stresses me out. So, because I can't.
Don't waste my time.
So when I used to do my intern interviews at MTV, and recently, if you're telling me how much you love TRL, TRL don't come on no more. So I can't deal with you right now. Like, I just can't handle the pressure. And if I'm not seeing, because I'm going to ask you things, a lot of things, because I came from a consumer marketing background, and then came into integrated, I'm going to ask you, for you as a viewer, what kind of things don't you like to see for an advertiser? What kind of things get on your nerves as an advertiser? I want to see how you think. And, I want you to tell me something like, when I was watching my stories and, Cheerios was all through, Days of Our Lives, I was getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
I need to hear stuff like that.
And there's some advertisement that come on, like, you don't even, like, it started, finished, and you still don't get the point. Like, what message was it,
But even bigger than that, like, I am not in advertising. Advertising is what the client does. That is what real commercials do. I am more interested in what you see as a viewer of our content. which is our shows on air, and how you like or don't like an advertiser's message to be integrated in that. Is it intrusive? I just need you to understand that space a little bit. And I get that integrated marketing is not new, but it's newer than most traditional marketing of what most people know. So I get that a lot of people wouldn't know the nuances of it. I didn't either when I was coming from the consumer side. But what I like to hear from somebody that I'm interviewing is somebody that can at least be thinking, you know, beyond just, I like TV. But like a real actual consumer. And again, that's just me because I'm such a pop culture person. There's some people who do just fine and they're not big TV watchers. I think that's sacrilegious, but whatever. That's why I like what I do, because I love TV, I love pop culture, I love music, all of it, love it. I can watch TV all day. So I like people who kind of have that same kind of passion. Passion is a huge thing that I like to see in people. You know, do you want to turn me off? Tell me that you want to, you know, run a fashion empire. Why are you wasting my time? Or you want to be a doctor? Like, I can't deal with that. Go away.
I love movie nights. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like movies, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you know, people be acting movies on the street, or you know, how do you like video all of that, or you know, in the water, under the sea and stuff? Like, how do you like get all of that together?
How do we video?
Like, video like people on the the movie, right? It's a movie.
What movie?
Which
like
one?
Any movie.
Give me an example.
Like even NBC. Because
what show?
Movies, right?
What show, Marie?
It's any movie. Like you know how like you have different scenes in a house, you know, in a business place, outside.
You're asking more of a production.
That's a production question.
Yeah, you're asking more of a production question.
Okay.
That's a production question. Like your question, ask your question you asked me on the train.
Okay, I don't want to be too vague about this, but I've just been wanting to find out what really happened. The whole Conan.
What are y'all trying to get me from?
You can stay behind.
Oh, this it's very big brother in this company.
Okay.
Everything you know is
so we
in
can't
the trades.
talk about that.
Okay. It's in the news.
So you told us about your job in integrated sales marketing. So I was wondering, since my favorite show on NBC is Heroes, I was wondering if you had done any kind of project on that.
I haven't, because like I said, I've only been here for about 6 months, and Heroes is like in production right now or something. But no, and also because I am across all of the properties, each property has their own. What my role would be their strategic marketing person. So all of them have their own me. But when I need to do one big project, they all answer to me. So I'm sure the strategic marketing person at NBC proper has done things for Heroes. I just haven't, because I would do things across all of NBC Universal. And Heroes has not been, you know, when NBC Prime, that's what I call that property, when they are, you know, within my portfolio for a project, like their Prime is in my project for Olive Garden today. Heroes is just not the show that I'm using. I'm using like Parenthood.
I watched it.
My last question. What do you guys do in this room with the cameras and those things over there?
A lot of times these meeting rooms are used for teleconferencing, you know, or just general meetings. But, you know, we have a whole other office in well, actually we have offices everywhere, but we have offices in LA, so we'll do teleconferences with them. It's used to show a lot of times I did a presentation here with iVillage. We'll, you know, show presentations in here, you know, just so they can be shown everywhere.
You do advertisements over here?
Pardon?
Advertisements? Like, advertise over here?
No.
No.
This is just a conference.
Yeah, these are you know, our own meeting rooms.
Right. Right.
But we're not shooting any. I guess maybe we do shoot something here. I don't know.
I see some cameras right here.
Nah, that's because that's not us. That's the actual advertiser. But when we are shooting some sort of, what we'll call a spot, when you see some sort of a sweepstakes, something like maybe 30 seconds, that's what's called a spot. When we do go into production for that, that's, married to a client or something. It depends on what it is, but I doubt we'd shoot anything here.
Okay, does this building only work on the integrated sales marketing, or is like every floor different jobs?
Every floor is different. Every floor is different. I don't even work on this floor. This floor is sports. In like sports sales or something. It's like sales or something. I don't know. This isn't my floor. And my floor isn't. My department is very small. My department is where our bigger department is called integrated sales marketing. We are separated into what we call verticals. My vertical is women at NBC Universal. There's also the Green is Universal team and the Healthy is Universal. So they do kind of in the same wavelength where they're very focused on, for the Green team, they are focused on, green initiatives within NBC Universal. So for, if any of you all are watching any NBCU shows, we'll have Green Week where, every show will have, some sort of a green or, environmentally safe theme. For Healthy Week, which is launching soon, it'll be the same kind of thing, pushing this large healthy message.
So you open a new department in accordance to anything that's happening in the world? Like a new department all the time, like you said?
Not all the time. I mean, just folk have to pay people.
People like personality-wise, people here mostly as cutthroat and mean as people portray them as.
Maybe to some people. Not me, but that probably means that I'm probably one of them. This is a cool place to work. I mean, it can be exactly what you've heard of. That's that's why it's hard to get up in here. That's why only the kind of strong survive. It's tough. It's not for I just had an interview with somebody yesterday. It's not for the faint of heart. It's you got thin skin. You're not gonna make it here.
Right.
That's just how it is.
That's how it is.
You gotta have a thick skin, but that's that is a lesson for every industry you go into, as far as I know. But I mean, I've only spent my career in entertainment, so that's all I know. And yeah, you need a thick skin.
Oh yeah.
You need a very thick skin. It's not for the faint of heart. You're gonna get told some things you don't really like.
Personalities clashing.
A lot of personalities clashing. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you need some heart.
There's a lot of diversity in this building.
It is a lot of diversity here, and that's another thing that I've been very happy with, just in my career in general, because MTV Networks was pretty diverse as well. But at the same time, both MTV Networks and NBC Universal are very committed to diversity and just kind of strengthening the internal employees that we have. So we have what are called affinity groups. Those are, we have ones for our gay and lesbian employees, the black employees, I think it's called like the African American Forum or something like that, which I'm a part of. There's an Asian American one just for women, and some other shit. There's a Latino one as well, and MTV Networks had all the same ones, just so that we can make sure that we are, celebrating and promoting diversity. Roger and I are both members of the National Association of Multi-Ethnicity and Communications. I'm the vice president of the New York chapter. So that is a professional organization with professionals mostly from all these big name companies that, again, just does some of the things that the affinity groups do on a even bigger scale. So doing, discussions, networking events, and things like that to celebrate diversity amongst communications employees around the New York area.
Right. So whatever field you want to go into, there's always an association that you can plug yourself into. Like if you're interested in fashion, try to find some like fashion associations where models and designers hang out. I know you were talking about counseling. There's always association.
There's always a professional association
to do. So that's another way for you guys to break in as well. Denise, I have a question for you. College life, right? What kind of mindset should they have? Because they're getting ready to graduate. In terms of the marketplace, what type of what is college life going to look like for this group? If you can answer that, if you can, I think that's something that they need to get ready for, because it's not high school anymore where people ask you, please do this, please do that. It's a whole nother.
God, I just feel really old. I haven't been in college for 10 years.
I have some of them that started Skyping at 6, and I'm like, I was like, oh my god.
What year were y'all born in?
92.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Sorry, B. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I cry every day. I'm
All
sorry.
right. Okay. So yeah, college was a long time ago, but I would hope some things are still the same. Yeah, it's different. And y'all are different.
Right.
Y'all are different than what, maybe you and Roger were, because your generation is just a bit more entitled. You're a little bit more used to people doing for you versus you having to do for yourself.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You agree with
I've
that?
been asking y'all. I was telling y'all I'm a little entitled behind. Oh, I know.
Okay.
So, so college is sometimes a hard adjustment for people in your generation because people don't really care anymore. They don't care. If you want something to happen for you, make it happen. Ain't nobody trying to hook you up. It's just not like that.
Wait, Denise, can you say that one more time for me, please?
Ain't nobody trying to hook you up. And I think that's something that, you're going in.
Jay, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right.
You need to know that. What?
We're going to do the group shots. We'll do group shot later, Nora.
Yeah.
It's... I assume, because high school was equally a long time ago. I assume in high school, you're very in lockstep with your teachers. Oh, you need to turn this in, and and everything's a conversation. College, they don't really care. You don't turn it in, that's you. They still get paid, and you pay them. Your tuition pays them. Your tuition still goes through when you don't do what you need to do.
Right.
They don't care. And it's not their job to really care. That's at that point you're kind of an adult. You need to take some responsibility of what you want to do. Again, I told you when I went to college, I was very, very focused on what I wanted my career to be. So I didn't go to college to play around. That was just where we're focused. So I was very focused about my major and very focused about that end goal. Again, I don't know if that's the right thing to encourage people to do, because I know that I'm a little different, and I know that it's hard to determine what you want to be and do at 17. That's a lot going on. But it worked for me, so and it helped me just stay focused and keep my eye on a very specific goal in college and not let myself get distracted. I was, that's why I picked the major that I did. I didn't pick a major just because, it's fun. I don't, maybe I'll pick basket weaving because,
Right.
Pick something that you...
This is a passion. For real.
Pick something that you have a passion for. And, something that I tell everybody, because it's something that my high school music teacher told to me. She was like, find something that you like doing every day and just find a way to get paid to do it. Then you'll never have to work. And that's why I chose entertainment. Entertainment is what I love. And I just found a way to get paid to do it. So, I encourage...
That's all right. We almost done.
I encourage you to, try it. And again, it's hard. You guys are young, and that's fine. Try to identify what things that you think you want to do every day, because life is long when you got to work every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
gonna be there 8 hours with.
Yeah, that's what
you spend the majority of your life at work. You think if I ain't like my job, I'll be here today sick? I'll be in the bed like
from school, and then you finish school work.
You gonna spend the majority of oh God, you young people. You have only been in school for 17 years. You will spend the rest of your life working.
Thanks.
Okay?
How encouraging.
Yeah, but the entitlement,
See, I know, saying.
You'll be happy with
I know.
But y'all wish I could be in somebody's high school.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
Bills.
Oh my
I know
god.
psychology, I want to get into psychology. I know psychology is something about advertising. So do you, with your job and your area, do you talk to psychologists much?
Never. Never.
Don't you have to do that to come up with brands and all
No.
that to appeal to?
If the advertiser themselves, you know, probably where the psychology comes in is on that advertisers in their world and the research that they do with their own audience. But as far as me, I'm in entertainment. I'm not in advertising. That's, you know, Olive Garden, how they determine who their audience is and how their audience, or who their consumer is. That's them. Now, I do have to figure out who my audience is within NBC Universal. You know, each different property within NBC Universal has a very specific audience. The Oxygen woman is different than the Bravo woman. So we have a set of researchers that, you know, I'm sure maybe in their world, maybe they talk to psychologists, but, you know, most psychologists are psychologists. Like, they work with people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. In the time that you've been in the music industry where you wanted to work in, you think that's been a good experience?
Oh,
what do you feel?
It was a great experience. I mean, I did exactly what I wanted to do, which was work at MTV Networks. I left very recently just because I needed to just move on.
What do you think was about? Do you think this was about a change?
Oh my God, this has been a great change. Because I just needed to move on. You know, you do have to keep going. And the good and slight bad thing about what I did was I got exactly what I wanted at 21. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know what to do now. I got to exactly where I wanted to be. What do I do now? I just had to keep going.
Right.
Did you read the book Who Moved My Cheese?
I did. I got it when I was.
It's a good book.
God, what did I get that? I must have got that when I graduated from college.
None of them. Well, she hasn't read it. She thinks.
Jay, you didn't read the book? Yeah.
No.
Are you pointing people out?
No,
Jeremy be pointing people out.
No, because she calls me. She calls me.
That's your hallway perception. You got snitch.
She calls me stupid for reading it. But it's a good book.
Because for months we've been going on about this book that nobody has read, and you're like the first person in forever to know that you're talking about the same book.
That's because I'm old.
Do you understand how I feel now? Come on.
Oh my God, it's just because I'm old. That used to be like the gift du jour at college and high school graduation. So yes, I read it. I don't even remember what it was about. I know it's in my bookcase somewhere at home.
Any other question?
She said all that old.
I know, see? You don't understand.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, you just I quit. Don't do that to us on a Friday too. She gonna call me Roger. I can't believe that.
Oh God.
All right. Any other questions that you guys have? You can ask.
I don't know.
You guys are good? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Noreen.
Y'all got
And it better not be a production question about underwater filming.
No.
Go ahead.
Like what? No, you're not even like, oh God.
It's all right.
Jeez, Mr. Malone.
You're welcome.
Okay.
We let her go for.
I'm sorry.
Answer the question.
Like, what is the salary like?
Yeah.
You know, like working here.
You know what I have to tell people because it takes a lot of passion to work in this industry. And I know you guys can't understand it as much because you're still in high school, but you know what I tell people, if you gotta ask about the salary, you don't want to work here.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I used to tell people, starting out, especially over at MTV, in those kind of, just getting started positions. If you gotta ask, you don't want it. Because I worked for free as an intern. Most interns are unpaid.
I do so.
And if I could do it without making any money and still want to come back, then this is where I want to be. But if you're worried about that money, you ain't gonna make it. Because you ain't gonna make no money for a while.
Sure.
I make money now, but it took a while.
Right.
A lot of people say it's their passion for it. If you have a passion for something, then you do it.
Right.
That's what I'm telling you
And
guys.
that's it.
I enjoy it.
When I first started, I mean, it took a while for me to make money. I just now started making money.
Denise is funny.
I'm just saying. But you know what I gotta say? When I had first started out, I was broke. That was like the best life I ever had. I was like, I'm doing exactly what I want to do.
You get a chance to network with people you always wanted
Just
to talk
network,
to.
but I'm doing what I want to do. All my friends were, I went to business school, so my friends are bankers and making big dollars. Look at you with your little MTV, whatever. On my worst day,
Be happy.
on my worst day, I'm doing something fun. on your worst day, you dealing with, you know, money and boring stuff and spreadsheets. Like,
Right.
On my worst day, like I said, today I really don't feel well.
Yeah.
But on my worst day, I get to talk to you guys. I get to, you know, do this presentation at Olive Garden, which is, you know, about family, and, you know, I'm going to be talking about, you know, Access Hollywood and, you know, Hollywood families. Like, this is a horrible day for me. I want to go to sleep. But this is as bad as it gets.
Right.
You know, yesterday when I started to feel sick, actually I was having a really bad day. But look what my bad days are. You know, I'm at work till 8 o'clock at night. I'm exhausted. But that's my worst day of, you know, having to do this stuff.
From when to?
I had an event yesterday morning. So I was at the Mandarin at 7:30
Nice.
yesterday morning, and I left last night at about 7:30, and I'm sick. But, you know, yesterday was a horrible day. But I got to meet the COO of Facebook. I got to sit around with the, you know, sweet Jeff Zucker. He was at my event. Like, I had all these. I got to meet a WNBA player.
Nice.
I got to meet, like, mad people yesterday. And I don't feel good, and I'm sleepy.
Right.
But these are my worst days.
See, those things keep you going.
It keeps me going, you know, even just, you know, talking to you guys and, you know, knowing I have this presentation today, you know, has given me some energy. But, you know, I am dead inside.
Would you say that you got what you wanted, like, due to a little bit of luck, or just like you just really worked and you earned every bit of it?
Everything got a little bit of luck to it. I ain't gonna lie. But I worked my ass off for this.
She do.
I did. You know, again, my professor took me to that conference every year. And me and him were, you know, that's why I chose that school, because of him. I wouldn't have even went, freaking Indiana. Like, what am I going to do in Indiana? You know what I mean? But he sat next to me when I was, you know, doing my college interview, and he said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to work at MTV. He looked me dead in the eye. He was like, I'll get you there. Bam! I'm going to Indiana State. Like, that's all I needed to hear. I had already done my interview at NYU. I had already got my acceptance letter. NYU's right down the street. I'm going to Indiana State because you're a gangster. You about to make some stuff happen. We gonna make it work, and I'm not gonna have the distractions of, you know, the city or whatever. Because, you know, I know me at 17, I would have never went to class. It just wouldn't have happened. I needed to be in the sticks in Indiana where I am to do a good class. And when we would go to that conference every year, he would look everybody in their face. He's like, "Don't mess up my average. I need everybody to get an internship, and I need everybody to get a job when they finish that internship. Do not mess it up." Okay, you ain't gotta tell me twice. I would go every single year and talk to that guy from VH1. I talked to him, I owe him a call. I talked to him every year that I went there. We were very locked in step. I'm getting this internship. I will not leave until I get this internship. And I got it. And, you know, I graduated in 2001. I realized you guys were very young in 2001. But that was a lot going on in New York. You know, that was a horrible year for a host of different reasons. Obviously, for the biggest one, you know, and my internship started in June. I ended in November. Remember what happened in the fall of 2001. So I don't give a shit. I still need a job. I need a job. Everybody got laid off from that company, from most companies, because just the economy took a bad tank in New York.
That's what I'm scared of.
Can't be scared of that.
You gonna be scared? Guess who ain't scared? The chick who gonna get that job. Okay? Because I could have been scared. I'm
scared of like getting laid off.
Oh.
You ain't got no job. What you scared about getting laid off for?
When you actually get
you
a
ain't
job.
got a job.
You ain't gotta worry about that. No.
Worry about it when that comes.
You pick up yourself and you do
you
it
make
again.
it happen. You know, at that time, you know, I'm 21 years old. I'm by myself, living in an apartment. I have no furniture because I ain't got no money. I ain't got no job. I had an internship. I'm sleeping on inflatable furniture in an apartment that my parents paid for, you know, and I ain't got no money. And then this crap happens. So now I'm scared. I was already just scared of, you know, my internship is ending in a couple months. I need to get a job or I'm going to have to go back to D.C. So what you think I did after, you know, the dust kind of settled and after they laid everybody off? What? I got gully. I stayed on top of the internship coordinators within MTV Networks. Oh, I'm going to be working. Somebody's going to need an assistant somewhere. And I just stayed up with them every day. You know, by the time my internship ended, obviously it was just a bad time in New York. But you know, I stayed on top of them. My internship ended in November. I started my new job in the first week of January. That was just a whole lot of just, oh no, I'm gonna work somewhere up in this company. Y'all gonna let me work somewhere up in here. I did have to go back to DC because my parents wouldn't, you know, they weren't gonna keep me in an apartment without a job. But you know, it was still the option of starting my career in DC was not an option. It was just not gonna happen. I'm moving back to New York. I don't care who I got to bump off, but I'm moving back to New York. And that's just how that's going to be. So you make it happen. And if you walk around with, oh, I'm scared, okay, be scared, because there are a couple people who ain't, and they're going to get that job.
Mm-hmm. They'll take your spot.
What was your first position as a starter?
After my internship, I was an assistant in Noggin in the End in marketing and public. It was called brand communications, but it was really just marketing.
One more question? Because I know Dee's not feeling too well.
Okay. Let's say I want to be in a position you're in. Because I've thought I used to want to be like in communication, maybe journalism. But to be in a position you're in, what would you study in college? Because you do a branch of different things.
I do a branch of different things, and definitely what since I'm not in music anymore, I'm not doing what I studied. Mm-hmm. But I did a lot of marketing in college, and my degree is music business. So, you know, I was really I was a music and a business major. It just was folded into one major. What resumes stick out to me are definitely, you know, I guess more traditional people take like radio, TV, film, or marketing, or communications. Some people take journalism, sometimes general business. But the marketing ones usually tend to stick out to me. But I mean, if you're talking about if you want to go into maybe journalism, I mean, it seems like communications is the best one. Mm-hmm. I personally did not want to be a communications major because I didn't want to be that general. I was like, I want to be in music business because I'm a musician, so I was just weird.
You are.
And this you got mostly from experience, this job, right? Most of it.
Yeah, most of it. I mean, my MBA is in marketing and media and communications. But I mean, I've seen so many people with different majors that have come in. It's just about where their passions lie. I had a very specific passion, so my resume is a straight line. Other people, it takes people some time to figure it out. So you'll see a lot of, I majored in math, and my best friend she's a reporter. She's an anchor on a TV station, and she has about 14 different majors in her undergrad before she decided on her broadcast journalism.
Right. It take a minute.
All up in here.
Right. Okay.
So, but I mean, it seems like a communications is probably the best one.
Yeah, sorry, it's because sometimes the thing is like, if you look at college, there's one major, but you don't know what you can get from that because it's this. You see how you wanted one specific thing out, like where you ended up. You said the music industry. You're still in entertainment, but not really with music that much. But sometimes it gets confusing as to what
and I bet it does. And like, everybody ain't as specific as I want to work for this company. Everybody is a little bit not as weird as I am. So, what I did when choosing a college, I chose majors before I chose schools. So that was just me. I didn't go to Harvard because Harvard ain't got music business, so I ain't going. And that was the same thing with, even picking a business school, because people were very pushy, why don't you go to Harvard or Wharton? No, they don't have media. I ain't going. I don't want to waste my time because they don't have, well, it'll be a Harvard MBA. Don't care. Don't want to go. So that was just me and how I made my choices. So, I encourage you to kind of shop around colleges. I mean, again, you have the advantage of having some great schools here in New York. You've got Fordham, you've got NYU, Columbia, so, don't discount those. And, if media and communications are things that you think that you are interested in, use this time as native New Yorkers, or just New Yorkers in general, to start finding opportunities where you can, get involved and, volunteer your time places. there's always somebody, someplace small that's looking for, you know, an extra helping hand that you might be able to put some things on your resume. A lot of times I was seeing, for people who were from New York, let's see, they had internships like every daggone summer. Because they could. Like wherever they went to school, wherever they went to college, they still came home to their summers in New York and had internships every year. I'm like, that's hot. So even if you choose not to go to a school in New York, use your time wisely when you come home for your summers. You know, that's another way to, you know, make sure you're beefing up your experience and using the advantages that you have from being New Yorkers. A lot of people forget that, and, you know, you'll find yourself, don't be stuck at, you know, your senior year in college, like, I don't know what I'm going to do, because then you're going to be in, you know, competition with people who were like me, who didn't have those, or who weren't from here, who didn't have any connection here, and are coming in hard.
Yeah, they coming.
Coming in hard.
Coming.
And my parents don't live here, so
hard,
I'm getting this job because I ain't got nowhere to go.
Right.
So, you know, and you have to always, something that motivates me is always knowing that there is somebody so much hungrier behind me. You'll never get to that place where you can, I'm so not there yet, I ain't gonna be there for, I've been in this industry for 10 years. There is always a dagger coming from my back.
Can't stop, won't stop.
So I'm trying, what?
See, we come from that era.
All
You
day,
want to see how
every
I?
day.
You want this is does this personality look familiar to you? This is how I am.
Yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop. We come from a Diddy generation.
Can't stop, won't stop. I mean, but that's, you know, people do.
Gotta be hungry.
And I know some of y'all, that's not your generation, so that's not your mindset.
Right.
Y'all are like, what? I went to college. Somebody better think I'm fabulous. No, no one cares. You need to be, you know, be tough and be ready to fight for yours, because there's still somebody behind you, and especially in this industry, you know, our companies are able to be very, you know, whatever to everybody, because you don't want to do it. You think you're better than this? Bye.
Peace.
Somebody else will, and they'll take less money than you.
They would.
They'll take less money than you. They don't care.
And they will.
They want to be a part of this. So, you know, have that kind of, you know. Again, that's just me, because I don't want to be able. I don't want to push people to be, you know, like me. If that's not your personality, that's not your, you know, your life. But whatever.
Right.
You know, when I look at the next step that I want to go, psh, if there's somebody in my way, you got to go. You are in the way. I need you to move, because I'm trying to be here and you are all up in my space.
Right.
So I definitely have the can't stop, won't stop attitude.
Right. And that's why I wanted you to meet up and talk to Denise, because not everybody gets this inside scoop. This is why I wanted her to do this. I've been talking to her